Well, good morning. I'm on early this morning because I have a scheduling kerfluffle like most of us are having these days with children going here and different schools and different activities and craziness. So just like everybody, I'm figuring it out. And what I figured out this morning is I'm going to have a short little lesson now, and then I'm going to come back on later. I'm not sure exactly what time this morning. Probably, anyway, I'm not really sure. Let's think. It'll be 10 o'clock-ish. So for now, I'll just start the day as usual. First grade, are you here? And you would stand up and say, yes, Mr. Coulter, we are here. And I imagine looking out at all your beautiful smiling faces and hearing your beautiful voices. And now we will do the school chant, which really belongs at school, but I think I'm going to start the day with the school chant because that's what we do at our school. Hey aloha no pa, and we all sing together. Hey aloha no e ku'u aina, aina kama aina, o ka ohia. Eyo mai kama aina paki pikako na eyo. Eyo mai e. I hope you say the morning verse with me, please. The sun with loving light makes bright for me each day. The heart with sacred power gives strength unto my limbs. In sunlight shining clear, I am reverent. The strength of humankind has so graciously been planted in my soul that I, with all my might, may love to work and learn. Toward us comes light and strength. From us rise love and thanks. The song with the hand motions. Ready? 1 for the golden sun. 2 for the night and day, 3 for me, for here I stand, strong limbs, warm heart, and a clear true mind, and 4 for the seasons slowly turning, 5 for the stars so brightly burning, 6 for the honeycomb and the bees who make the sweet, sweet honey for me, 7 for the 7 stars in the sky and the days of the week as they go by. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 6 for the honeycomb and the bees who make the sweet, sweet honey for me. 5 for the stars so brightly burning. 4 for the seasons slowly turning. 3 for me, for here I stand, strong limbs, warm heart, clear true mind. And 2 for the night and day. 1 for the golden sun. Today is Friday. This is the day I'm usually here at my house, teaching from home. Again, because of children and work schedules and visitation schedules and school, So it worked out well. I have a very flexible, good workplace and a flexibly thinking boss who's willing to help us all do what we need to do to make this work in service of children. Today is Friday, it's December, December. And today should be the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, today is the 4th. 4 with a TH afterwards, so I can bite my tongue and say 4th. It's the 4th day of September, just like I'm first in line, I'm second in line, I'm third in line, I'm 4th in line. That little TH at the end of 4 and the rest of the numbers that keep on going. For some reason, after one, first is a totally different word, isn't it? It doesn't have anything to do with onced. I'm onced, I'm second, I'm twosed, third, fourth, and the rest of the numbers sound like their number. Fifth sounds like 5, 6 sounds like 6, sixth. Anyway, the intricacies and interesting little foibles of the English language, and still 2020 for the rest of this month. And then it'll change. This number will change to a 1. And then the next year it'll change to a 2. And the next year it'll change to a what? Of course, a 3 and 4 and 5. And that's how counting works. Speaking of counting, we haven't counted for a long time. I know we've been counting forward for a long time, but backwards is much more tricky, isn't it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is not so difficult, but it is difficult when you start at 100. But if you think about it, and I'll say the second number, 9, 88, 87. I'll kind of whisper the first one so you get the pattern. Ready? 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, 93, 92, 91, 90. With your fingers and counting with me. 89, 88, 87, 86, 85, 80, 83, 82, 81, 80, 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, 74, 73, 72, 71, 70, 69, 60, what? 8, 67, 66, 65, 64, 63, 62, 61, 60, 49, 48, 47. Did I skip the 50s? I'm just going to go with it. 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30. What's next? 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, blast off! Jumped right out of the camera screen. We've been counting a lot in school by different numbers. We've been counting by tens, of course. 10. I'll go like this. I'll pick one finger up, and instead of calling it 1, I'm going to call it 10. And we'll get to 100 by the time we get 10 fingers up. 1 10 is 10. 2 10s is 20. 3 10s is 30. 4 10s is 40. 5 10s is 50. 6 10s is 60. 7 10s is 70. 80, 90, 100. And we can count backwards. 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and back to 0. We've also been counting by 5s. I'm just going to show you 5 fingers at a time, like that. We'll go up to 50. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Backwards. 50, 45, 40. Taking away 5 each time. 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and back to 0. Lots of ways to count. We've also been counting a little bit. Well, we haven't really done it very much, but we can also count by 2s, which is very convenient when you're counting out little things. Instead of saying 1, 2, 3, we can go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Try it with your fingers. Put 2 fingers up and say 2. Put 2 more fingers up and say, what is that? 4. 2 more, 6, 8, 10. All right, I'm going to close in just a minute, but I wanted to, to me, one of the most fun parts about math is geometry. Geometry is all about shapes, because it's fun to have all these different shapes that you can play with that we've cut out before. We have these triangles, and they each have a square corner like that, like as if they were part of a square, and we can make these 2 triangles into a square, in fact. And now they have not only the two square corners, but now this corner, if you think of it like that, it's really also square. And you can tell from this one has I put a little square in that corner. That could be part of a square too, couldn't it? And even if I hold it like this, it's still a square. I can turn it any way I want. It's still a square. But you can tell when I put this one here that, sure enough, each corner is square, and that means the whole, and because each side is the same, it's also, we can call it a square. Here's a small square. Other things have, 4 different sides, and some of them, sometimes they could even be all the same shape, all the same length. But it's a squished square, isn't it? We call it a parallelogram. And then we have so these are all flat shapes, right? We can describe these shapes because they're just flat. We can say but if you had, I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of one of the Great Pyramids, of Egypt. Well, each side is triangular, but when you look at it all together, I don't think I can hold this in the shape of a pyramid too well. But if I put 4 of these together, I'm not going to be able to do this. If I put 4 of those together like that, and then if I was to bend them down so each one was a side, now it would be like a pyramid, right? So you look at it this way and say, oh yeah, it's a pyramid. It's got 4 sides. My other sides are being kind of falling apart, but it's a pyramid. So it has a different shape. Even though it's a triangle, we don't call a pyramid a triangle because that's not really what it is. It doesn't describe it that well. And you're familiar with these little guys, right? You can roll these and play a game. This is a great thing to do if you're a first grader and learning your math. You can roll these and play a game that involves having dice. And these are each side is a square, right? But the whole thing together, we can't really call it a square because it's more than that, isn't it? It's a lot of squares. How many sides are there? You have to count them and find out. Well, let's see. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're numbered for us. 6. So there's 6 sides to this square. I think of a square as 4 sides, doesn't it? This one has 6 sides, but it's not a square, it's a cube. It's a die, or 2 of them we call dice. Cubes, that's the name of that shape. And this shape, of course, is a ball shape. But, if we want to be mathematicians, which we are, then we can have a different thing to call this. It's not just a circle, right? Not just a circle. A circle you can draw flat, but this thing is, round all the way around, isn't it? So we call this a sphere. Like the Earth is a sphere, isn't it? And then this kind of shape, of course, this is also a circle on the top, sort of. It's got some little dents in it there, but the outside of the shape is a circle, isn't it? But the whole thing together, it's not really a circle. I mean, this is, what do you call that? It's kind of like a stick, here's a curtain rod that's got this similar shape, except for these ends on it. But it's round all the way around this way, but it's flat on the 2 ends, and there's circles. That's a lot of words to describe something. I can have one word that can describe this whole thing. It's called a cylinder. And lots of things are cylinders, like your glasses are often cylinders, like a cup that you drink out of, or a water bottle is mostly cylindrical. It's a cylinder shape. So, and the last one is the most irritating one. Here's a box, right? No, it's a rectangle on this side. It's a rectangle on this side. It's a rectangle all the way around. And this one happens to, we use that word rectangle to describe this. It's a rectangular prism. I don't know if you really care about that word, but I didn't really know that word for a long time. But it is a good way of describing a cube that's been squished. So if I had these 2 dice glued together, they would no longer be a cube because one side is a rectangle. The ends are still squares, but the other sides, the sides around the outside are rectangles. So we call it a rectangular prism. Not a prison, but a prism. So that's shape. So those are I just love having different words to describe things. Just like when you describe your feelings, when you describe your feelings, you're not just mad, sometimes it's like mad frustrated mad, mad scared mad, mad, sad mad. So we have all these different words that we have in our language, and we have ways of communicating things with our faces too, of course, which makes it much easier. But when we're talking about things in the world, scientists like Auntie Jackie's been talking, we don't just have plants, right? We have leaves and stems and roots and flowers and fruits and all the different parts of them. So it's just nice to be able to have all those words right here so that we can say them anytime we want. All right, I have to go bring some kids around to their various assignments today, and I will be back to talk to you some more. And we'll review the story of Senor Coyote, who was one of those guys who's clever and foolish at the same time. Kind of reminds me of night and day, the two, when we talked about the number 2. Sometimes people who are clever, they are their own demise, aren't they? A little too clever for their own good. Like Senor Coyote, that story from Mexico that I told you yesterday. All right, blessings on the rest of your morning, and I'm sorry not to give you a full-on lesson this morning, but I'll be back at 10 o'clock-ish. All right, bye-bye.